While immigrants are struggling to find a decent job these days, I decided to walk away from what most people would call a secure career. Hi, my name is Manjot. I'm an interior design student and a former IT professional. In this video, I'm going to talk about why I left my stable job in IT at the age of 29, some of the doubts and fears I had, and what's happening next. Just to tell you a little bit about myself, I came to Canada almost a decade ago as an international student. And then I went through the whole process of getting a work permit, getting my permanent residency, which is a whole struggle story on its own. And somewhere in that process, I became an IT professional. For the past 8 years, I was in a service desk role. If you don't know what that is, it's basically someone who assists you with day to day technical issues. If you have computer problems, if your software is giving error messages, providing access, troubleshooting issues, creating tickets. And it's not even like I hated that job. I did enjoy the troubleshooting aspect of it because I am someone who naturally enjoys solving problems. And I was actually quite good at that job. But it doesn't mean if you're good at something that you're meant to do it forever. Deep down, I knew that this is not something I wanted to do for the rest of my life. I would often ask myself, what do I see myself doing for the next 5 to 10 years? And IT was never an answer. I couldn't imagine doing the same thing for the next 5 years, and I definitely could not study any IT related stuff just to move up. In fact, I gave it a try. I decided to do some training stuff when I was working and get some certifications, but it was just so painful to sit through those long training hours. I think it wasn't just exciting for me anymore. I would just log in, do my work, log off, and then do the same thing on repeat. It even started affecting my health. Sitting all day long gave me a neck hump, bad posture, and even digestion issues. I constantly felt bloated and stiff, and I knew my body was off. My energy was low, and honestly, I wasn't motivated. I felt like I was just going through the motions. Once I started noticing all these things, then came the scariest part, which is admitting that maybe I was meant for something else. That maybe I didn't want to climb that ladder after all. So, what do I do about all these issues, all these things that I'm noticing? Well, there's this quote by Henry Ford that says, if you always do what you have always done, you will always get what you've always got. This means if you keep doing the same things over and over again every single day, you will keep getting the same results. Well, in my case, if I keep going to my IT job every single day, I can't magically become an interior designer one day. No, that's not how it works. If I wanted to feel different, I knew I had to do things differently. For me, it was walking away from the 9 to 5 IT job. And I know it's not easy, especially when you're a 29-year-old and you're seeing your friends, your coworkers growing in their career, buying houses, having babies, and you starting over all over again, going back to school at this point feels like you're left behind. And on top of that, you have all these people asking you, are you sure you want to do it? And then you have these doubts and fears like, what if I fail? What if I don't enjoy this new path that I am on? How am I going to do all this all over again? Am I too old? But the thing is, if you don't enjoy what you're doing these days, do you see yourself doing that thing for the rest of your life, right? I had a choice to make. I could continue to feel drained and just hope that I would magically feel better one day. Or I could take the first step towards a change that would make me feel better. If you're watching this, you're probably questioning the same thing. You're feeling stuck. Know that you're not alone and it's okay to have all those doubts and fears. But the only person who you are answerable to is you. If you feel like making the change, you should go ahead and take that leap of faith. And I know change is uncomfortable, it's not easy. But if you ask yourself the right questions, it becomes easier to make a decision. For me, I asked myself two important questions. The first one was, what do I see myself doing for the next maybe 20, 30 years? The answer was simple. I had to leave IT and start doing something that I enjoy, which is something creative. I knew from the last few years I had grown some interest into interior design, designing spaces. So I knew that that is something that I wanted to do. And then I asked myself, what do I need to change in order to achieve this goal? For me, that was quitting IT, walking away from my 9 to 5 job. I knew that if I wanted to become an interior designer, I have to gain some knowledge in that field. And I know you could learn online and become an interior designer. You don't really need to go to a college or university for it. But I'm someone who enjoys structured training, and also, quite honestly, I just wanted to go back to college and experience it all over again. Because the first time I went to college, I was really young. I didn't know about the tools and resources the college offered. But this time, because I have some professional experience and I'm more organized, I'm looking forward to doing it the right way. I think this is something that would be really good for me, and I'm really excited about this new chapter. Interior design is something that aligns with who I am. I'm naturally detailed oriented, and even when I go into someone's house, I usually notice the details and imagine how this house could look different. I'm just like someone who enjoy building cozy spaces, layered textures, ambient lighting. It's just so satisfying if you even think about how you can make a space feel a certain way. Turning a house into a home, this is something that excites me. I'm going to actually start my formal education in fall 2025, which is only a few days away, and I look forward to doing this 4 years degree. This is something that really excites me. I don't know if I'm going to be a successful interior designer, but at least I won't regret when I'm 40 or 50 years old that why I didn't even try. You know, you only live once, why not do the things that you like? Looking back, it's probably one of the most difficult decisions I had to make, but probably one of the best decisions because it got me unstuck. It gave me momentum again. It reminded me that I'm allowed to choose differently. Even at the age of 29, I can start all over again. Hell, there are people who actually go to college at 50 or 60 years of age, and I'm only 29. If you're thinking about changing your careers or even dreaming about it secretly, tell me in the comments what your biggest fear is. I love to talk more about it. And if you want to follow along with my interior design journey, I would love to have you here. Thank you. See you in the next video.